My name is Kam Tuzamo. I kun tu ate at school. I Benji Horfin, Benji on paper.
My name is Maununu Ama. I'm the mother of Ululau, who's sitting beside me. He's an artist. I'm also an artist because of him.
Thank you very much, Taiteli. Can I ask, where are you from? Like your villages, the island, Mevapena?
Ululau was born in Apia Motutua Hospital. His dad is from Savai in Vaitomuli, Palauli, and his dad's dad is from Sanapu. I'm Tuvaluan by race, Fijian by nationality, and now I'm a New Zealand citizen.
I'd like to talk about Lea Afianga Ululau. What is his condition?
Ululau at 3 months, when he was born, he was having meningitis, an infection in the brain, and later in the year he was diagnosed with epilepsy. Right now he's been going through some seizures, a lot of different types of seizures. But 2 years now he has been seizure free. Early this year he's just had one seizure. He has some problems mentally, so I'm now his full-time carer, just making sure that he's safe, and I'm trying to help him move on with his life.
What are some of the challenges that he has in terms of his everyday? Is he attending mainstream school, or what are his current activities?
Ululau's education, he was able to attend Manumalo Baptist Primary School in Savai. He attended kindergarten. Then he went to year 1, year 2. Then he went to Palauli Primary School in Vaitomuli. Then he went to the mainstream in Apia. He attended the Seventh-day Adventist Primary School. And because of his frequent seizures, I brought him to Maris Primary Mulivai. That's where I was a teacher there. So having him beside me, I didn't have to run all the time to Lalovaya to bring him when I was told that he's got seizures. While he was in primary school at Mulivai, up to year 7, he couldn't go back. He just couldn't afford to go to year 8. And because I was in a year 7 level, I asked the principal if he could stay with me in my classroom. So in my classroom, he remained there for 2 years. And I could see that through my teaching, I could see the students, at least by the end of the year, they were able to speak in English. They were not confident in speaking in English. Samoan was their first language, and they were quiet right throughout the year until towards the end of the year. And I saw a lot of improvement in them, or at least one improvement I saw that really touched my heart. And then I said to myself, if I can improve these students, why can't I improve my own son? So I had a talk with my husband that I leave the school and take him to a special needs school. But I had to look for it first. Then I came across Senese, Inclusive Education for Special Education. And there I went and inquired what they do and if Ululau could be in that school, because he had seizures and part of his education he was very slow mentally. And then I was able to find that there were teachers there who could help him. He is not alone. He had helpers there to help him in one-to-one person. And I think that was my aim, that he could succeed from one teacher just concentrating on his education. So I resigned from Maris Mulivai and took him there to be educated. And we didn't last long there. By then, we were told we were coming to New Zealand. Mid-year, like June, we were told that we have our papers process to come to New Zealand. So we came to New Zealand. And in New Zealand, he went to Arohanui Special Needs School, where they asked so many questions about his goals and all that. And art was one of the things that I saw Ululau really concentrating on. And I believe that in his education, they need to improve him on that. I don't know how, but I just mentioned it to them. And through Arohanui Special Needs School, they did a pathway for him to be in an art school. So they led him to Mapura Art Studios. And there I saw progress in him. The first art that they sold was like $46. And that was like $1,000 to me. I couldn't believe it. And I saw that probably that's where they're going to advance him with his talent in art. And until today, that's where he is. And I can see the growth in his art talent.
Lea tu inga ata te fia tusi.
Usiaka.
Tusiaka. E ini mea whapitoa voide lea e kikiro i oso i ulangona tusi.
Bushijishimbi.
At what point did you start to notice that this painting or this art of his was more than just your son liking the art in itself? What point did you notice, if I dedicate myself to helping him along, he could go a long way?
I saw this when I was in Samoa because as a young child, I know the doctor said he needs to go in a mainstream so that he wouldn't, if he had to copy the students, he will copy those who are a bit, having the ability to do good things. He doesn't have to go one step behind. He can keep on advancing himself. And with his artwork and knowing that there was difficulty in his speech, there was difficulty in him going away from me. He had to be beside me all the time because of his seizures. I knew that with where he is or the type of person he is, I can help him to develop mentally. I can help him in a way that he can be just like his other brother or any other human being. And through art, because he drew a picture of his auntie, and I could see everything was in detail, her body and the way he described the picture. That's when I knew that I could do something about it. But how? I just don't know. How I'm going to do about it, I don't know. But I knew that through art, I saw paintings and all that, but I don't know the quality in it. I don't know what you can do about it. So when we were coming here, I knew I can do something. Whatever it is, I don't know what is it, but I can do something. So in his artwork, I started collecting his artwork from Samoa. All the things that I saw, like he drew pictures of our home, he drew pictures of some actors, and he just left it there, but I collected them all. By the time we came here and he went to the art school, we went through art therapy. And through art therapy, they were talking about his artwork and all that. So I gave all these old pictures that I collected in Samoa. That's when they did publish his first art book. And that was a dream. I knew that there was something that can be done through art, but I didn't know how. But through that art book, I knew that this is the answer to it. So when he was in Mapura Art Studio, I don't know what they can do about that artwork. But because of his seizures, when he left school after 21 years old, I had to take him to art and bring him home because he don't know the road to go to school. He didn't know the road how to come home. So I'm the one who has to take him. So I was fully concentrating on him from 2013 until today. And at art school, I would be just sitting in the corner. That reminds me of Samoa, where the mothers take their children to school and they wait in the hall until school finish and take them home. And when I was sitting there, the teachers, they said, come and draw. And I didn't know how I'm going to start. I don't know whether, I'm going to paint, but am I going to pay for the fee? I didn't have money to pay for the fee. So I just sat beside him. I did a lot of listening. But then I encouraged him to do art. He was slow because of language. His first language was Samoan. And I just helped him with his artwork, like encouraging him. Oh, come on, Ula, let's see who will do the best and who will finish first. By doing that, I saw by the end of the lesson, he was able to do something good. So that kept on going on and on, not knowing that some of his art was really good and the teachers had it on exhibition. I had no idea, what it means to be having those artwork on exhibition when it is sold. Only when it was sold and if they priced it to 200 or 300, it's something big for me. It's just a small painting. I saw him paint, but to have that money for that small art, I said, man, he's got quality in his artwork. So I know then that he has quality. There's something good about that art. I need to let him grow in it. So for many years, we kept on going to Mapura Art Studios. And we sat in the same chair, not even realizing that he's got autistic traits. The teachers there knew that he had autistic. I have no idea. And they thought all along that I knew he had this autistic traits. I didn't know. But through art therapy, through my stories that I shared with them, they came to find out that Ululau has autistic traits. Then they asked me questions and all that, and I told them, I don't know. I don't even know what is autistic. So they directed me to an autistic program. And there I knew that the same behavior he has with epilepsy, that those are the same behavior and traits that autistic people have. That's when I gained confidence through those programs and epilepsy, art therapy. And that made me know that I can make him grow in whatever he does. So just through that artwork, I saw development in his artwork using different art materials, and it made me excited too. And I was trying it. They say, try it. So we were doing the same thing, like we were playing, but at that same time we were learning. The both of us, we were learning. And when we saw the results, we were very happy. So even to leave the studio, it was hard because, we were just excited. And wood cutting was the first painting that he did, that I also did, that gave us, it's like, wow, so this is art, something very, very different. So when we were doing artwork, we saw the differences in artwork. We also thought of Samoa, the children in Samoa, if only they could learn the same thing like what we were doing. So there was a need in me that to reach out to those people back at home.
You have a very unique experience of starting your journey in Samoa as a tangata sa Inimalo for Ululau coming to New Zealand. What are some of the big challenges or differences that you never thought were challenges in Samoa that you recognize how big of a space it was when you moved to New Zealand?
When I was in Samoa, looking at him, I spend most of my time with him. When I'm teaching, he's with me. When I'm doing projects, he's with me. And I never felt tired. As long as he was with me, I felt that, I can keep on moving. When he's out of my sight, the students will come running to me. So I leave what I have to do and do that. I saw success in my work, and I'm happy that he was always beside me. It didn't stress me at all. But when I get home, there's a difference. Sometimes the body is tired, but I don't feel tired in the mind because I know there's some other things that I have to keep on doing. I have to be with him. I have to look after my 2 other children, the home, and whatever is around me. But then the behavior, he had a behavior that I thought is just normal. I didn't know that, this is part of epilepsy, that they behave this way. He can be very wild. He can be very angry. But we learn as we keep on living with him. And I think other parents too felt that way, that, it's part of the sickness they would call. I would call that part of epilepsy, the seizures and all that. So we were aware of it. We were learning as we lived. And we just thought it's part of it. But when I came here, I was interviewed by Arohanui Special Needs School, that what are his needs, what I aim for him and all that. But whenever I spoke to them, they came to tell me that I said something and they said, that's stress. I said something and they said, autistic. And I'm listening. Stress, autistic. When I go home, I Google those words. Then I came to find out that all along in Samoa, my family was stressed. The behavior he was doing, my children were affected. My family was affected by his behavior, and us not knowing it, that it was part of it. We could prevent it, but we were all affected. Sometimes his father would be not home, and we'll be alone at home, and we had to face everything that we go through. But going through all this, we came to find out that maybe too much sugar in his food that makes him, hyper or behave that way, angry. So we had to get rid of sugar. Having too much tea leaves. One time we had a big packet of tea leaves. We just had to throw it away to prevent him from getting the seizures, not realizing that we could have just given that packet of tea leaves to our next door neighbor. Yeah, we just threw it out in the garden. Nobody knows that we have thrown it out. And so from there, so many things that we faced in Samoa. When we came here, we started learning in every interview we had, in every place where he goes to, in education-wise, meeting other people. We came to find out that, we could have done this way. Stress. The stress that we are going through, I am sure many people in Samoa are going through, but they don't realize that they're going through stress. Even autistic, because of the behavior, not knowing that, they can say the child's got epilepsy, the child's going through seizures, but the behavior can be autistic and nobody knows. So this is what we are going through. So until today, now they're able to let us have him assessed for autistic.
How are you now? Because, from what you were sharing, a lot of the stuff in Samoa you thought was the role of a mother.
Yes.
Now we know you did a lot more than just most normal mothers would do. But in your mind, it was what you had to do for your son. So being in New Zealand now, being exposed to a lot of the information, spiritually, mentally, physically, how are you now compared to then?
I'm very good. It took me years to be healed. I can feel that I'm healed. I'm very confident now that I can just run to Henderson, because I'm from the West. I can just run to Henderson and leave him home. But when I'm in Henderson, I don't know what noise I hear, not very long. My mind and my heart is just beating, not thinking something's going to happen. Even my family are at home with him. I don't feel like safe for him to stay with them. Because when I go home, I'll be affected. He'll tell me so many things, or something might be happening at home. So I had to rush back home. This time I can be away from him, but I had to let him understand how long I'm going to be away for. And I must promise myself that I'll be there. Because when I'm late or if I'm not there on time, I can see a change in his behavior. I'm feeling really, really happy, understanding him more and seeing that he is being educated, he's moving forward, he's being healed, and I know through prayers too that he loves coming to me, going with me for prayer groups, Bible study, and there's a great change I can see in him. I can see I have also confirmed the faith he has in the Lord. And because of this award he had got from Creative New Zealand, I feel so blessed because we were sitting in those chairs for so many years, not knowing that how far our work was going out, especially for him, that he's able to stand in front of a big audience, going away from his own home and proving to his own father, sister, and brother that he can have a free ride to Wellington and come back paid by somebody else. Not staying in a hotel. He didn't have to pay for it as a tangata sa Ilimalo, and free food, enjoying staying in a hotel like a king, a tourist, flying in the plane, standing in front of people to get an award, and even having that money. He doesn't know the value of that 10,000, but he knows he's got something. And because of that too, I encourage him to move forward. He's been having some other awards. He feels blessed to it. Just looking at those awards, it gives him memories. He's happy. When he's happy, I'm happy. And because of all these good things happening to him, he's healed, and I know the Lord is with him. Today, it is my turn now not to reach out to others. Those blessings for me it doesn't belong only to us. We need to share that blessing by letting others know that, tangata sa Ilimalo is not just to stay home. We can, we can keep on moving. So right now with him, it's very hard for him to communicate, but I know the words are there. Yeah, the words are there. It's always flowing out, but there's one day that he'll open his mouth, he'll teach somebody. And I know he can do that, and I'm still going towards that road, but it is his time and my time now to reach to others so they can walk in that same footpath.
O au langona na wa maua lau whailonga. Po le ase langona ia oe nga wa maua lau whailonga.
Peri yo.
Oi fia.
Fia.
Hihi.
Fia. Mai la lau ke kia vale. Manga ia. O arisi mea manga ia nga maua lau awon. E lau whailonga.
Koe ki kia merwan. Koe sau I tuat.
E ala sau wa ia Wellington.
Rangai. Koe ngofo lau tia.
Sole. E laki are.
Kongi vai ngara li pasis. Kongi vai ngara tuat.
Kaloi o ngal manga ia lau kamwhainga. O le ala se au ngā e wha malo si au ia oe lo malo le whailonga. Ka pe wha au wawe pe lau kusi akam whai a kesi.
Maro fia.
O a whera e koe maua iris ka whailonga.
Peri yo.
Maua na sau kupe maua iris ka kupe. Mum, let me walk you back and officially if you don't want to answer them, it's fine. If I pay te ua te ue so long on the foile, if I pay te le fieta the it's okay. But I want to walk you back to when he was born, and because when did you experience that he may have some kind of behavioral challenge?
He had, at 3 months, he had very high fever. We kept on staying home because I know with that high fever, I'm able to control it. So we had a fan above him, full swing, and I kept on sponging him. It improved at one time. So I was also scared that he might have pneumonia because the heat and the fan, that made me feel that I might cause him pneumonia because of the fan and his fever. So I turned off the fan, but then his fever started to increase. And some families, I think my husband went and saw his family's next door, and they came with local medicine, and we took him to the hospital straight away. And that's when they told us that he had meningitis and infection in the brain. So when they said that he had the infection in the brain, I knew there's something happening there. But when he came home, everything was okay. But he kept close to me. It was the seizures that made me really worry, because I had no idea about seizures. And when the doctor said he had epilepsy, I had no idea too. What is epilepsy? What is seizures? What I'm supposed to do? The only warning I had was don't let him go near the seaside, don't let him swim alone, and don't let him go near the fire. Just keep him away from that and climbing trees. So those were my aims, to keep him away from all those things. His education, I saw that he seems to be very slow in his education.
You didn't think too much of it at 3 years old, at 4 years old, but at what age then you realized that? Because sometimes boys are slow in general. They, when it comes to learning, they always say, boys. And they're a bit slower than girls when it comes to just the normal standard of learning, as they say. But at what point did you notice, and at what age did you realize that it wasn't just the fact that he was a boy, that there were additional challenges to his behavior and his learning? Do you recall?
When he was in primary school at Waitomule, that's Paloli Primary School, he was the last in class. But the teacher still recognized him as a student in the class. And she said, Ululau, whenever he wants to sleep, he sleeps. And she would allow that. And I can understand that. From Paloli Primary School, he went to Lalavaia's SDA Primary School. The same complaint from the teachers. It wasn't a complaint, but they were just reporting it to me, that he was slow. But actually at home in the village, he was the most active one. I could see he was very fast, even in replying and thinking. He was very fast. So I just had that in mind, that I should, he's special. I had to take care of him. When he came to year 5, that's when I brought him from Lalovaya to Maris Mulivai. Though he may be slow mentally, but I could see the teachers there, the 2 teachers there who taught him in English and in maths, English and maths. They seem to have been concentrating a lot on him, because in his homework, he's able to do his homework in a different method that I knew, that I had to try and help him. He knew. So I could see that he's been listening well. He's been understanding what the teachers were saying. And when I went and saw the teachers, they reported to me that they tried to help him a lot. Like it's 1-to-1. It's not like, because there could be 46 students, there could be 36 students in one class. But I saw that the teachers had time for him. So I knew that he can do well. But then he goes to special remedial classes where he learns how to read. He can read one sentence. The more they keep on repeating those sentences, he can understand. But after a week, he may not remember it. That's when I realized he needs special tutoring.
In your mind, you never thought that he had some kind of condition, right?
Yeah.
You just thought maybe this son of mine is a bit slow. Don't know what's wrong with him, but I'm sure he could do. So, because what we're encountering with a lot of our Pacific parents, it's like they never knew that how we in Samoa and other we call them sick.
Yeah.
They never knew that he was unwell in terms of an able body.
Yeah.
Until the Palangi told them that this is what you have. They just thought, everyone else is okay. This one here, okay. Was it the same for you? Like, you never thought that, you probably had hope that one day he would grow out of it? Or did you knew at some point where, okay, Ululau has more than just slowness?
When he was like 4 years old, 5, when I went to when we were at home, the families kept on saying that I need to send him to Loto Tamawhai. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that he should go to Loto Tamawhai. So in order for me to prove that, I asked the doctor, is there any reason or should he advise me for him to go to Loto Tamawhai? And the doctor said, no, he has no mental problems. He needs to go to the mainstream. But even taking him to the mainstream, I could see that he needs help. So I made sure that, because they say Loto Tamawhai, they use the word ma'i, ma'i. If the person is ma'i, then what we should do? Just leave him to be ma'i. To me, if you're ma'i, then there should be something that we have to do to help them, move forward or to get out of that ma'i. So to me, that was an aim. I will show that that he is not ma'i. He is not ma'i. So I concentrate on him wherever I go. Even if I go to meetings, I went to so many meetings that I think I'm the only person that took him, or even my daughter, for safetyness. I took my children with me. If I have to put them outside in the veranda to sleep or rest, I get into the classroom and have the meeting with other schools or other teachers and all that. But my children stay outside. I don't feel safe for them to stay at home. And I knew that as long as I'm there, the doctor told me, try to prevent him from getting more seizures, because the more seizures he have, he might get more affected by the brain. So that I kept with me too. I'll make sure that will happen, that he will get out of these seizures. But there's another thought too that came in. Have I been cursed for that? Did I do anything wrong about it? I even asked my husband about it. I asked my husband, hey, one night I asked him, this is in Hawaii. I said, do you think that we have been cursed or we did something sinful that, we have him as he is? And then he said to me, why? And I said, no, I'm just asking. We've been cursed or what? From anywhere. And he said like, well, if you think you have been cursed, then it's you. You tell me about it. And I said to myself, if I think I've been cursed and if I tell him, then he know I've been cursed. So what was there to tell, that I've been cursed? So I just left it as it is. When I was in year 5, when I was in the Maris Muliwai, I heard people saying that too, that I have been cursed or I have done something sinful that, I've got a child like this. It hurts, but I just kept it to myself. And I said, I can prove to you that, my son can do better than that, that what you said, you will be surprised. Yes. So that was like that. Another lady said to me, no, you are carrying a heavy cross. I said, what cross? And they say, you are carrying a heavy burden on you. I just looked at her. What is that burden? To me, it's not a burden. It's part of my life that I have to look after him. He's my child. Nobody else will look after him. I'm the mother. I have to look after him. This is the way I have to look after him. So to me, it wasn't a burden. I came here, another person said to me, you are carrying a heavy cross on you. And I'm wondering, what is that cross they're talking about? So luckily this person said, but you'll be blessed. You'll be blessed for carrying that heavy cross on you. Then I came to realize that, that he is my cross. He's the one I'm carrying, whatever difficulties I'm going through with him or pains I'm going through with him. That's part of it, that I'm going through with it. And to me, that is my life. If he's my child, I need to look after him. Yeah.
Tell me about the award, the Creative New Zealand Award, because that is, if you were to look back at the challenges you went through in Vaitoamuli, I bet you never saw one day that this child of yours was going to achieve the award that he did.
I knew all along that because I had that in me that I will do something about it. I had an aim when I was in Samoa that he will have to have a book, an art book. It'll be published. So it has been done. So that's one. I say he will develop his artwork. That has been done. And whatever is to come across, I know that, there's some artists that are very, very popular. I don't know how to go about it, but, God is there. He shows us the way. And when I heard that he got this award, I was just silent. I just kept it to myself. But it happened. My daughter overheard it. So she said, don't tell anybody. Just keep it to ourselves. Remember, they said, this is very personal. You are not going to tell anybody. So we kept it on our own. Even the father didn't know it for many weeks, until when we were almost going to Wellington, and he found out. We told him. And I looked at him. Yes, tangata saili malo, but I said, man, God is good. How this happened. So when I hugged him to say thank you to him, tears just flowed out of my eyes. I just thank God for, being with us, giving us that patience. And I think that is what all mothers need to have. Patience. Patience with their child, because we don't know what is ahead of us. Even me, I didn't know what is going to happen ahead of me. If we think of what the good thing, like we're going to have $10 at the end of the road, we have to work hard to get that. I think you're not working naturally. Just work, go through every day what we had to go through, because it's a learning experience. And having that award, I just said to myself, thank you, Lord, for using him to be an example to others. That if he can do it up there and get this award, New Zealand is a big place, eh? Everybody wants to come to New Zealand. But for him, out of everyone here, to get that award, man, it's unbelievable. So I believe that it's him to reach out to others in that award, that they too can be like him. Maybe not in art, maybe in another category or another talent, or in many different ways. All we have to do is keep on moving. Because, in Samoa too, there was a priest who brought all the children together. It was a day for Tangata Saili Malo in Samoa. And I went because of him. And the priest said, I believe you mothers here sitting here, all of you think that you have been cursed. That's why you have all these kids beside you and in your life. But let me tell you that God is using them to show his powers to the world, what they can do. So it's the ability to do things, that they can do things. That really touched me. And that also encouraged me to move on.
I want to also acknowledge the fact that by you helping Ululau, you yourself is now an artist.
Yeah, yes.
Talk to me about that,
I think it's all part of art therapy, that when we went to art therapy, I took Ululau mainly for him to be amongst the people living with epilepsy, not knowing what is there in art therapy. But then I came to hear about others, what they experience, because they can feel it. With Ululau, he can express it. He can feel or know what he's going through. So I'm seeing Ululau from the outside. I can feel him from the inside. His brain is like my brain. I can speak for him because I experience everything. But then the others who can talk about it, it's confirmation of what I know through Ululau. Then after all this talking, we went into artwork, and it's like releasing everything out of you into paper. And I started with, like primary level where you draw a house, stick and all that. And here Ululau, his hand is just flowing with with all the art materials. Then the teacher gave me a canvas to use. And I said to her, me, use the canvas? She said, yes. And I said, am I allowed to use the canvas? To me, only the artist can use that. But she gave it to me. And I could feel the flow of the ink of the painting on it. It's so good. It's so nice to have that flow in there. And because I was with him all the time, helping him with the seizures, communicating with him because he only speaks in Samoan. And we would just communicate to each other and have our good times together. So they said, why don't you do art? I said, who, me? And say, yeah. So we were just playing around and, just playing around with all those new materials that we never experienced before, using them before. And somehow I could feel what is in my brain is just flowing out of my body into my hand, into the artwork, because I could just see, it's just circles. So I saw like spiral patterns on it and all that. And I was releasing all what I was going through into there. I'm coming home with so many, um, things to do. After I go back home, I have to clean that, I have to cook, do this, do that. But sitting there, I sort of released it out of me into paper, just doing those circles, and it looks like spiral, and then filling it up. By the end of the painting, I came to realize to see, beautiful picture. I said, I couldn't believe that I've done it. But the way the teachers admired it, they always gave positive comments and encouraged me to use different materials or, tell me, oh, this is beautiful. It's just like this. It's like a bird, this and that. I can't see it. They can see it. So that sort of filled me with a good spirit to keep on doing it. So the first time with my art canvas that went on exhibition at the Epilepsy Foundation at the university. So having to see my own artwork displayed there, is something different. It was not for sale or anything, but we were promoting epilepsy.
How did that make you feel, not just seeing something that you created being valued, but what did that do to you as not just as a mother, but as a mother of a child within the tangata sa Ilimalo? How did that make you feel when you look back at the journey you went through, from birth, from under the fan, from the heat, from people talking about you cursed and all of this cultural stuff? Just that motion of you looking at your picture being valued by others.
Looking at that picture, because it has a story too from the theme of epilepsy. And it was in epilepsy awareness too at the time. I could see there's a difference. People with epilepsy who have seizures, and there are some people with epilepsy who have seizures. They are able to be amongst many different people, but there's also loneliness in people with epilepsy, with seizures, that they cannot not get connected together. The effects of people with epilepsy that the normal people will not recognize. They might think that they are drunk, but yet they're going through the effects of getting a seizure or after the seizures that they cannot understand. So there's awareness. I could see that they need to be together. There's a lot of awareness needed that people should understand those who have seizures, because they can be drunk. A normal person will think that they're drunk. They might go and punch this person, but yet this person is having the effects of seizure. And they don't understand what is going on. So the other person might just come and punch them because they think they're drunk. But they have a condition there. So there's more awareness to know about epilepsy. But the colors that I used, that is really healing to me. It just puts a smile on me. People came past, they look at it and say, man, that's beautiful. For them to look at it, and when I'm looking where they're pointing is my picture, and they're commenting of the colors, it makes me happy. I feel happy. So I also like him, that his artwork will go up there. Though his artwork was up there too, I know he can do better. Yeah. So there was a lot of encouragement for us. Yes.
Na sau fika ko siya karokinga. Wala lei ko siya karokinga.
Ke lei roi he.
Oi o lua marokinga ele lei ko siya. Ya? O oi po orokinga.
Ke lei roi na.
He always said he has the best. Yes, which I always encourage that he has the best. Yes. Before he will just allow me to speak about it or even to help him, because now we're doing collaboration and he knows that I try to finish his work or, we work together. But now he's able to speak. He can tell me, oh, you're the one who ruined my art. So I have to keep a distance, Yes, so he's good.
You have encountered a lot through your journey. And through this journey, we've come across many, many different families in their own way, in their own path. They've encountered very similar journeys. But for families that are currently going through the struggle of trying to understand, trying to find help, do I need to find help? Can I tell people in case they laugh at us or think that we're cursed? Or what would be your encouragement from your experience of what you went through from then till now? What are some of the wisdoms that you can share with them in terms of, I like what you said already. You said patience, because you recognized that was one of the attitude and the traits that you had. There were a lot of noise outside, but you just kept, because it's like you knew. Mothers knew when they know their children. And you always knew that your son had something that no one saw yet, even you at that time, but you were just trying to journey towards it. So from that experience, what would be some words of encouragement or some wisdoms that you want to share with families? Because Tōfā Mamao is not just about the person impacted. It's both Ululau, is you as family, and also you as the carer. Now, if we have families that are going through challenges at the moment, feeling heavy or carrying their own cross, what are some of the things that you can share with them from your experience to help them?
One is love. Love. Mother's love. Having him, it's not his fault that he is who he is today. They are born. They are a child, and it is mother's love. If you don't have that love in you, then how can you say you love God or you love your neighbor, but yet your nearest neighbor is your own child? If you love somebody, you should love your child first. So it's natural to a mother to love the child. We don't know the future that a child can bring to us. One-legged child is better than having no legs at all, or even for the child to die. But having this child with me, it's just natural that the mother sees the child needs to grow, be educated, have to be fed, have to interact with people, enjoy life, be part of the community. They go to school, they go to Sunday school, they go to church. Just make them normal. Some people, they say, don't take him here, don't take him there. How can I be there when he's not there? Half of my heart is here, but my heart inside, nobody can feel and know that it's beating. One jump or one noise, I'm jumping. I'm not settled. So all I have to do is live that wherever I am, and I go home. So to have him with me and go with me everywhere I go to, I feel safe. I feel that he's there. I can be there until the end of the session, or whenever I feel that he needs to go home, I'll go with him. But I'm satisfied. Sometimes it can be very frustrating that you really want to go out. You wanted to be there. Like today, we really need to be here. But out of the blue, he changed his mind. He wasn't going to come. How am I going to deal with that? Just leave him there and come? So we kept on moving and went into the car. He ended up coming with us, and we are here today. It's this mother's love. We need to be very careful with what we say, because we think they may not understand, but they know. They may not speak, but they know. They might not remember, but one day all those things will come out. So just be careful with what you say to the tangata sa ilimalo. Because you think, they know nothing, but they know many things. Yes, just be careful with the way you speak, the way you treat them, because it's in them, it hurts. One day they will really show it to you, and don't be surprised, they'll take action. So, just love the person, love others, because others will see that love too, and they will give that support to you. Patience, love, be organized, communication is important, and encouragement. Encourage everybody to do well. Even, the person who is tangata sa ilimalo, just encourage them, knowing them that they will do well, but not overpraise them. Because if you overpraise them too, there's another behavior in there. They can come above you. Just praise them in a quiet manner. Yes, try to understand where they are needed, the kind of food they like to have. At one time, I never allowed him to have sweets because he had a lot of seizures. But when he went to Arohanui Special Needs School, they told me that they gave him sweets, and I'm telling them, but I thought you asked for the gold, and I'm telling you not to give them the sweets. And they told me he needs sweets to give him energy because it's a long day. So that's something new too that I was learning. So, we look at the foods that they eat, try to help them where if they don't eat, maybe there's some other foods that they need because they may not be able to express it in a clear way that, they don't like this food. There are special foods that they might take, but even if they don't take it, like example, they might not take fish. Back in the islands, we have a lot of fish, a lot of pua, a lot of povi. If you give them all these foods, they don't eat it. But if you put that same food in a sandwich or in a different manner, they'll take it. See? It's because he's artist, he's looking at the colors, creativity too in his food that makes him take it. Yeah. Yeah. And us too, we forget about ourselves. We keep on concentrating on them. We forget about ourselves too. Exercise is one. We have no time for that. Good food, sometimes we're tired. Just try and look after ourselves too. Just remember to look after ourselves. I have gone past the stage, we forget to look after ourselves. But I thank God that I was well. Try and take care that you don't take too much sugar, fatty foods. If you think of beauty in your food, that's the beauty you take. All is good. Yes. But educate your child. It doesn't mean that your child is tangata sa ilimalo, then you leave them at home. Now all over the world in the Pacific, they are educating their children. So take them to school, take advantage of anything that is provided for them. Yes.
Ululau, se me ke fia sau noa.
Yeah.
O lea se mea o ahani au moe miti o ia i monu malai.
Yes, moi miki.
Ke mga o i wha au pia o tusi ngā ata.
Hai. Au. Iau aloku hingaka.
E mawar fia ia te oi. Ke mga o ke fia umia. Ke re hoi naka haka. My final question to you, Map. What are your aspirations both for your son and for yourself and as a family together? What aspirations do you have in mind for all of you? Because he didn't come this far by himself.
We are getting old now. And both my husband and I are almost the same age. Health may not be the same anymore, but we're training my daughter to take care of him if anything happens, because we believe that as long as he's with the family, he will do well. Maybe if he's taken away from the family, he might, who knows what will happen, but it might also decrease him in his health-wise. There might be a turnaround again, like going back to where he was before, not progressing because of loneliness. He's so used to being with the family, and it's part of the family that togetherness, even if we are not around, the sister is there to help. I think the sister is willing to do that. She's on her pathway that she can help him. I know there's many things that art can do for him. Right now, your books is one. Another one is for him to experience different things that art can do. Residency is one. I know residency here in New Zealand, but I don't know how to go about it. But we believe one day he'll have that experience of having residency, just a small studio for him or something like that. How that's going to happen, what we need to do in that, what is going to happen in that, I just have no idea. So it's a good experience for us to grow together knowing it. Another, I believe that he will reach out to the community back in the island, especially in Samoa. How it's going to happen, but through artwork. If he succeeds through his artwork, if he can reach out. He can reach out to help those people in Samoa. Yes. We thank Tōfā Mamao Collectives that we are able to reach to others to make them understand that they can do better. They can do better. Even here in New Zealand, there are many opportunities that the Pacific people can reach out to help their children. It's not only at school. We know there's art. There's more to it in art. Who knows? Someday they might reach out to us, or we might reach out to them. But for the Pasifika people living as a Sa'ili Malo, their families, they may be affected. But be encouraged. Reach out to those who can help. Because there's more help, in helping us mentally and also physically and also in health-wise. Yes. We'll go just nuts living with people like this, and lack of knowledge. That is the only awareness that we need to reach out to people, is to give them the knowledge and understanding of experiencing life, living with a tangata Sa'ili Malo. Thank you very much to Tōfā Mamao that we're able to reach to those who are in need.